I am obviously not normally teaching in the room because you've got awesome other teachers who do a great job and you don't really need me to teach, but I figured every once in a while it's fun, so I jumped in. And I've got something particular that I want to teach you today that the Lord put on my heart, so I'm taking over, and that's okay. It's fun to do. I need someone to open us in prayer. And I looked at Mr. Wesley first, so Wesley, would you open us in prayer? Go ahead.
Dear God, please help us to have a good night tonight. Please bless everybody as they go home tonight after AWANA. And please help all of us to be safe. And please bless all of us. Thank you for Mr. Ali teaching us. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen. All right. My question for you tonight, and I need to erase this board that Mr. K's got going on here. There you go. I'll just take over this part of the board. My question for tonight, it's obviously almost Christmas, so we want to be doing Christmas stuff. And my question to you is, why do we have Christmas? Gabe, what do you think?
To celebrate Jesus' birth.
Okay, that's totally true. 100% answer, yes. Ezra, you sure? Okay. So, my question is why Christmas, and Gabe was right. The answer, of course, is we're celebrating Jesus' birth. But I'm going to ask you, why did Jesus have to get born? Why was that even a thing? Yeah.
So that he could die on the cross for our sins.
So that's part of the picture, right? But how? No. But now God is God. Is there anything God can't do?
No.
So could Jesus have appeared, poof, here I am, in the middle of the temple and said, "Hi, everybody, I'm God.
Yeah.
Please crucify me." Right? I mean, would have saved 30-something years. But he didn't do it that way. He was born as a little baby. He didn't just go, "Here I am, I need to die for you." Can we go to get that done? Right? That's not what he did. Why did we get born?
He wanted to spread the word before he died.
Oh, so we needed some sermon time. Okay, true, cool. Anybody else have another thought as to why Jesus had to get born? Yes.
He was born so that he could die.
He was born so that he could die. Okay, we've covered that. That's totally true. One more.
He was born
Came to be born, and there are more than 4, but we're going to deal with 4, and then we're going to look at 4 different verses. So I'm going to put out there 4 different verses that I need to have one of my friends look up, have your finger in and ready to read loud and proud. So, Kendall, you have a Bible with you?
Yes.
Yes, you do. Would you please look up and be ready to read soon John chapter 1, verses 14 through 18.
John chapter 1 verse
14 through 18. Can you get ready for that in a little bit?
Wait.
John chapter 1.
Very hard to find these.
Oh, well, you got some time. So, be working on that.
John.
Sophia, how you doing? You have a Bible with you today? You don't have a Bible with you?
We can make that happen.
You don't? Okay.
Yep.
Okay. Sophia, now you have a Bible. Congratulations. Matthew chapter 20.
Anybody else?
Sophia, Matthew chapter 20. Okay. Verses 25 through 28. You going to be ready for that in a little bit? Matthew 20, 25 through 28. Okay. Nash, do you have a Bible with you?
I can barely find it. Now I don't even remember.
Okay. Nash, look up for me, please, Hebrews chapter 1. And you're going to read the first 2 verses of chapter 1 of Hebrews. And then I need one more person who's got a Bible and wants to read. Okay, thank you, dear. Galatians chapter 4, verses 4 and 5. John 1, 14 through 18. Not 1 John, John 1, 14 through 18. Okay, cool. So, why did Jesus have to come and be born? I've got 4 kind of silly-ish object lessons for you to help you understand why 4 of the reasons, I'm sure there are more, but 4 of the reasons why Jesus had to come. So, my first object lesson involves food. And one of my favorite kinds of food, and I hear that you can make sandwiches out of some of these food items. And so I'm not really sure how it works. So I've got a friend who's going to help me with it, and she's going to give me some instructions. So Christina? Christina, can you? I know that something is possible with these. Can you tell me what to do?
Nah. You know how to
No. Christina's going to help me with this. Tell me what to do, Christina.
네, 동해무 왁비 돌산히 와루 토론토로 하나님이
Oh, hold on. You put this on the bread. Does that understand?
안 돼요. 돌산이 묻어요.
You open this up.
안 돼요. 네.
No, wait. I'm trying to help. Dude, help me a little bit more here. You would what?
돌산히.
Open this up. Okay.
네.
Okay. And then what do you do?
못해요. 잘한대요.
You put this.
네.
You put this in here.
안 돼요.
Wait.
잘한대요.
On the bread.
네.
On the bread. Just like that.
안 돼요.
Oh no! Wait. What do you do? Oh, okay, wait. You take this out.
네.
Okay. And then you put this on there? Oh, down here. Down here. Okay, now what?
하나님.
Open it up, is that right?
네.
Okay, cool. Now what?
오케이. 네. 안돼요. 뭐야? 아니요. 아니요.
No, okay.
뭐요?
Oh, put this on here. No? Ladies and gentlemen, what's the problem?
You're doing it completely wrong.
But why am I doing it wrong?
Japanese.
Because I don't speak Korean. How long do you think it would take for her, speaking only Korean, to tell me how to make something so simple as a peanut butter and jelly sandwich? Long time? Long time, right? Now, obviously, I know how that works. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Appreciate it. No, it's all good. So Jesus came to earth for 4 reasons at least. The first one is so that he can speak clearly to his people. Hebrews chapter 1, the first 2 verses, please, Mr. Nash.
Long ago, and many times and in many ways, God spoke to our fathers by the prophets. But in these last days, he has spoken to us by his Son, whom he appointed the heir of all things, through whom also he created the world.
Thank you so much. God has spoken to us in various ways at various times in the past, but in these last days, he's spoken to us through his Son. Now, God spoke to us through the prophets, and he said very clear things through the prophets. You can understand much about God and about how he wants you to live by reading the prophets. So it's not like when Jesus came, we get to rip the first 2/3 out of our Bible and pitch it, and all you need is Matthew. Like, no, that's not true. But when Jesus came, we don't have to hear somebody tell us what they heard God say, and then there's interpretation in there, right? There's the prophet's brain is involved in that process, and he does his best. But some people look at him and are like, yeah, I don't know if I believe you. And they kind of turn around, and some of the prophets got ignored, right? And some prophets did some pretty strange things, and people looked at the prophets and were like, yeah, I don't know if I want to quite be like you, right? And some prophets lied, not real prophets, but some people said, I'm a prophet of God, and they were not a prophet of God. And so you have some real prophets telling you what God wants to say, and then you have some liars telling you what they want you to think God said, and they're not really prophets. And if you're trying to follow the Lord and all you've got are prophets, you've got to listen and think about it. Did that come from God? And compare that to what you already have. And then this guy talks to you like, no, you're full of hot air. And it's harder, right? But God says, you know what? Let me speak your language. Let me take away all of the interpretation. Let me actually come into your world and put on your kind of body and use your kind of mouth to speak to you with real-like air molecules shaking between my mouth and your ear, and you'll hear the words of God from the mouth of God, and you'll know what God said. Right? So the point of Hebrews 1 is that one of the reasons why God chose to put skin on and become a baby was to speak to us clearly. So there's no question. This is God, and He's talking my language with a mouth in the room that I'm in, and I know what He said. Like, that's incredible. I want you to know that's incredible. The earth existed for thousands of years before God decided to talk with a mouth in the room where there were human ears to shake the air and have Him go, oh, that's what He said. We kind of take that for granted because it's so far in our past. We're like, yeah, of course, God came and He talked to us. No, that should blow your mind. God came and He spoke their language in their kind of body, in the normal kind of communication that everybody else was using. And they're like, oh, that's what God said. Now it makes sense, right? So reason number one why God had to put skin on was so that He could speak to us clearly. Okay, another little silly object lesson. Who is a Lego player? You have Legos.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Okay, you play Legos? I need you.
I just had some in my
You play Legos? I need you. Okay, the two of you. Come here. Okay.
Iris, since when did you play with Legos? Just once.
You know how sometimes when you buy Lego kits, the Lego people come disassembled, right? And you've got to put the Lego people together. You know this, right? So I've got it here. I'm going to have to borrow your desk. Just a second. I'm going to borrow your desk. I would borrow that one again, but it's got peanut butter jelly all over it. So here we go. Okay. I've got a bin here of Lego butts and legs. And I've got a bin here of Lego heads and hair. And I've got a bin here of Lego bodies. Okay? And this is how they come. Come here. Can both of you please assemble two Lego people? Feet, body, head, hair. Put them together. Put them together. Come on now. We don't have all day.
Feet, body, butt.
Feet, body, head, hair. Come on.
Butt.
Just for the record, the boy is building a boy and the girl is building a girl. I think that's beautiful. Okay. Keep going. Here we go. So we got one. Got one.
The opposite.
Okay. Iris is a little bit faster than Shane. I'm just going to go ahead and put that out there. Okay. Iris is assembling her second Lego girl. Shane is still deciding on a head. He doesn't like any of these heads. There you go. There you
Put a
go.
head on.
There you go. There you go.
This head is broken.
Oh man, sounds like me. Okay, Iris has two Lego girls. He just means, oh man, don't lose your head.
Ouch, Shane.
Okay, okay, no, he's got it. There we go. There we go. There we go. Remember, we got a soldier with a scarf. That's the way it should be. Okay. Iris has assembled two Lego girls, both of them wearing green pants. Okay, so thank you very much, Iris. Appreciate it. I'll need you again in just a minute. Don't go away. I have two well assembled Lego girls. Okay.
You got no men in here.
I've got no men in there. What are you talking about? This dude's got a beard.
His head's
Oh,
broken.
his head. He's got a. Well, yeah, he's the guy. He's got a broken head, of course. Okay, wait. Here we go. Here we go. This is definitely a masculine head. Definitely. There we go. Okay. Cool. Cool. Yeah, I also find it interesting that Shane went for the old school Lego sort of person, and this is a crown. Thank you very much. Okay. Shane has a soldier wearing a scarf and a crown wearing dude. Okay. Thank you very much. Kendall, I see. Wait, Shane and Iris, don't go away. Let's pretend for a minute that these Lego people are.
Farting.
No. Kendall.
Farting.
Kendall. Not your show. Okay. Let's pretend for a minute that these Lego people are people who need a healing touch from Jesus because their bodies are broken. Would you agree with me that if your body's in 3 different buckets, your body is broken?
Yeah.
Okay. Let's pretend that these people are people who need a healing touch from God. Do you guys know anybody whose bodies are broken? They're sick, they're ill, they've got health problems, right? Okay.
My mom.
Let's pretend, let's just in your mind's eye imagine that person and their body is represented by disassembled humans. Okay? And how easy was it for you guys to assemble people out of parts that were right in front of you? You guys you can handle that, right? Okay, cool. We're going to do it again. We're going to just make it a little bit different though. I'm going to put the lid on these. And Shane and Iris, you have to stay up here. You can't go anywhere, right? Stay up here. But Jocelyn, would you hold these for me? Okay, cool. Thanks. Now, build 2 more Lego people. No. You can't go anywhere. Ready? Go. Oh, see, she's taking it apart. No, okay. Oh, wait. No, I should have specified. Don't disassemble the people you've already healed.
Okay, no.
Okay. You can't do that, right? You can't do that. Why can't you do that? Because you're not in the same place that the broken people are, right? Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay, cool. Thank you very much for your object lesson. Go sit down. Appreciate it. God bless you. God bless you guys. Okay. Sure. The second reason of at least 4 why Jesus came, and this might sound funny to you, and it probably should. He came so he could humbly serve us. Now, we are people and God is God. Does God have to serve people? But the weird thing is that He does. God does not have to serve you. Matter of fact, who has to serve who? We have to serve God, straight up. Absolutely true. But God came to earth, and one of the reasons He came was to serve us. Matthew 20, 25 through 28. Who has that one? I think you do, Sophia. Go ahead and read that out loud for us.
Now there were 7 brothers among us. The first one married and...
No. Matthew 20, 25 through 28. Matthew 20, 25 through 28. 20. No, that's correct. Matthew 20. 25. Okay, Matthew 20, 25 through 28. There you go.
Jesus called them together and said, "You know that the rulers of the Gentiles lord it over them, and their high officials exercise authority over them. Not so with you. Instead, whoever wants to become great among you must be your servant, and whoever wants to be first must be your slave, just as the Son of Man did not come to be served, but to serve, and to give his life as a ransom for many."
The Son of Man, that's Jesus talking about himself, didn't come to be served, but He came to serve. Now, did God ever heal people of diseases in the Old Testament?
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely. Did God ever raise dead people to life in the Old Testament?
Yes.
Yes. Did Jesus heal people in His ministry?
Yes.
Did Jesus raise dead people to life in His ministry?
Yes.
Did God do it more number of times in the Old Testament or during Jesus' ministry? Yeah, by like many factors of 10 probably. Yeah. So we've got way more times people are being healed in the ministry of Jesus than in the Old Testament. It's not that God couldn't heal people before, but God put skin on and stepped into your world so that He could look at you and say, "My friend, you're broken." And He can put His real hand with skin on you, and He can say, "Be not broken." Right? And that's part of why Jesus came, was to touch people with real hands and say, "Bless you, be healed, take up your mat and walk." And He would touch people in their eyes, and blind people would see. And He would take people who were deaf, and deaf people would hear. And He touched them, and He healed them, and He served them, which should also blow your mind. If it doesn't blow your mind that God wants to serve people, you aren't thinking about who God is and who people are. It should blow your mind. So, Why did God have to be born and take on flesh and be a person? So he could speak, so he could serve. Does anybody see a trend of these words I'm using?
Could I have a peanut butter and jelly sandwich?
Speak and serve, they both start with S, and I'm trying to help you remember these. Speak and serve. The third one, I've got another little funny thing to do here. Hold on. Ready? Call Daniel Pena on speaker. Oh, I've only got... Yes. I've only got 4 bars on my phone. I may need you to call your brother. Matter of fact, here. We're just going to stop this. Call your brother. Because my phone's about to die. Bad planning. He'll answer. He's waiting for the call. I'm going to need 2 artists.
Oh,
Okay. Emma and Ezekiel. Okay. Hey, how you doing? Good, good. Okay, everybody needs you to listen. This is just a speakerphone, so it's not the loudest thing in the world. I hear you've got kind of a funny garment.
I do have a strange garment on, yeah.
Okay, I've got 2 students up here, and we're going to play a little bit of a game of like Pictionary sort of thing, and we're going to see if they can draw the garment that you're wearing. So, Emma, come here. You're going to be drawing in black. Here's a marker for you. Right in this area. Okay? Come stand here. Ezekiel, here, you're going to be drawing in red. And
Blood.
I'm going to slide this mess out of the way. Would you draw right there? Okay, and I'm going to put the phone right in the middle. Daniel, would you do your, would you describe the garment that you're wearing? And while he describes it, you 2 draw. Okay, go.
Well, it's on my head.
So, we need a head.
It's on your head?
It's on my head. And it's really wide. It's wide and really festive.
It's a sombrero.
That's good.
Like some kind of
It's all
celebration
wrong.
is going to happen.
Is it a
Some
sombrero?
kind of funeral celebration.
It's all gone.
And it's also super southern. Like if I were walking around Alabama, it'd be like rock on there.
So we've got wide and festive and southern. Okay, cool, thank you. Keep going, keep going. No, don't help.
That's the other one. There's colors all over the place.
Colors all over the place. Now they've only got 1 marker, but they're doing their best to represent colors all over the place.
Most of all, it's natural. It's made out of real materials.
Okay? It's natural.
Down to earth.
Down to earth. Okay, cool. Okay.
Ezekiel.
Okay. Do you have anything else you can tell us about it?
That's about it, really.
It's about it wide, festive, colorful, down to earth, and natural. Those are the adjectives you've used. And southern. Don't forget about southern. Okay. Okay, cool. Thank you very much, Daniel. I appreciate the information. Okay, God bless you. And go ahead and mosey on over here.
I'll be there.
Okay, cool. Thank you. Bye.
Good skin cat. Good skin cat.
Okay, now we've got 2 senses of what this is. Ezekiel has a large, I wouldn't even use the word afro, kind of, with celebration things in it. Okay, cool. Here we have a wide object. What are these? What are these?
Bells.
You don't know, but you felt festive meant stuff hanging down. Okay, cool. Okay, now, in just a moment, we're going to see who is right. So he's going to be over here in just a moment, hopefully soon, because I'm kind of stalling now.
It's cool hair, I think.
Was anybody else picturing something totally different?
No.
No?
Yeah.
No?
I was picturing a giant clown hair.
You were picturing a giant clown hair?
I was picturing a clown.
Okay, let's see who's right. Come on up. Now, This is definitely wide and festive and southern and colorful. Now, all of these objects work, but actually, it's my analogy kind of failed because Emma's pretty much right on. Yeah, we got stuff dangling from a hat over there. Ezekiel, I love the effort, bro. I really do. Thank you very much. Now, we have, you guys can do that. You guys can do that.
I know, can you take a picture, Emma?
Oh, take a picture. You want a picture, Jenny? Okay. Okay, cool.
1, 2, 3.
Alrighty. Thank you very much. Okay.
You've got something hanging right there, right in the
Okay. Number 3 of at least 4. Excuse me, Shane. Number 3 of at least 4 reasons why God had to come and be born as a baby was that He could show us God. God had described Himself in the Old Testament lots of different ways. God had used word pictures. God had told them that He was light, that He was truth. He had told them that He was a consuming fire. He had told them all kinds of things. They'd seen a lightning storm on top of the mountain when Moses got the 10 Commandments. But nobody had ever yet, with their eyeballs, seen God.
Wouldn't you die because He's so bright?
But then Jesus came, right? And He put skin on. And He walked around and He said, "Hi,
Wait, so
I'm Jesus."
He didn't have skin in heaven?
No, not when He was born in the manger. He was eternally always God, but He didn't have skin on until He was born as a baby.
So He was spiritual.
Right, right? So, number 3 of at least 4 reasons why God came to the earth was so that He could show us God. Who has John 1, 14 through 18? Go, you do. Kendall.
Okay. And the Word became flesh, dwelt among us, and we beheld His glory, the glory of the only begotten of Father, full of grace and truth. John bore witness of Him and cried out, saying, "This was He whom I said, He comes after me, preferred before me, for He was before me. And of His fullness have all received, and grace from grace. For the law was given through Moses, but grace and truth came through Jesus Christ. No one had seen God at any time, the only begotten Son, who is in the bosom of the Father, He has declared Him."
Thank you. The Word became flesh. God, who nobody could see and live, became flesh. God put skin on. And then at the end of the verse that he just read, it says, nobody has seen God at any time except God, who is in the bosom or in the heart of God. He has revealed Him. So nobody has seen God the Father, but God the Son, who came from there. He has made Him known to us. It's a beautiful passage. You can't see God the Father, but Jesus, you can see. Jesus has put skin on. Jesus has shown us God. As a matter of fact, Jesus would say later to his disciples, when they said, "Hey, show us the Father," He said to them, "Have you been with me so long and you don't know this? If you've seen me, you've seen the Father." Like, I am God. When you see me, you are seeing God. And that, ladies and gentlemen, should blow your mind.
Yes.
That God, who is so amazing that He holds the universe in His hands, who speaks and stars come out, that God put on skin and was around 6 feet tall and probably 185 pounds, walking around, stubbing His toe, right? The more you think about that, you're like, what? What? God? Like, God? Yes, God. You got to see Him. That should blow your mind. Okay, 4th reason that I'm going to mention you now, that God came to earth, and I'm sure there are more, but here's the 4th one. I need one more volunteer. You haven't done anything for me yet. You want to?
I haven't done anything. I have
You want to come on up? Want to come on up?
I've never done
Come on up. Come on. Okay, Larissa. Larissa, are you excited about growing up? One day being a grown-up and having your own life?
No.
You're not excited about that? Oh, well, this isn't going to work for you.
I'm excited about it.
I'm excited.
Kind of excited about it? Okay, now all of a sudden you're excited about it? Okay, so, now, one of the joys of being a grown-up is bills. Can all the adults in the room agree? So much joy. Okay, so we're going to pretend that you're a grown-up, and we're going to pretend that you have your place here in Hawaii, because that's where we live. And Hawaii is ridiculously expensive. So I'm just going to help you picture your adult self, and you get something like this in the mail that says, rent bill, $3,500 past due. Okay? Now, we don't ever want to see these things come in the mail, and all the adults in the back just went, because if something like this comes in the mail, your day is shot. Matter of fact, bigger sections of time of your life may be shot. So this is a problem, and congratulations, you're growing up. Here's your problem. Larissa, let's just pretend for a minute that you need to come up with $3,500 right now. What's going to happen? Are you in trouble? Yeah. Do you have an allowance? Do you have an allowance for doing chores at home? You don't? Do your parents ever give you a little bit of money so you can go buy something fun because you did something neat? Roundabouts how much money is yours right now. You could say, I currently have $0. Okay? I'm going to spot you $5. Okay? We're just going to pretend you've got 5 of my dollars. Is that enough to pay your rent? No. What are you going to do when the landlord calls and says, Larissa, I need that $3,500. What are you going to do? I got $5. Is the landlord going to be like, oh, cool, no problem, you just go ahead and keep living there? No, we got problems, right? We got problems, right? What happens, Bud? You wanted to be in this game, right? But we're going to pretend that you're independently wealthy. And that this amount of money would be no big deal for you. Like, you wouldn't even miss that if that were missing from your account. You're like, was there $3,500? I don't know, right? Okay? You're Bill Gates, right? But there's a problem. See, you don't live in Larissa's house. So what happens if you're like, hey, no, I got you, Larissa. I'll totally cover your rent. No sweat. And you call the landlord up, me, and you go ahead and offer to pay your rent. Go ahead.
I offer to pay Larissa.
The problem is that you're not on the lease. And I feel like I'm only going to take checks from people who are on the lease.
We're going to give her the check.
No, it's not going to work that way. If you want to pay the rent, then you need to be on the lease. How are you going to solve that problem?
I give her cash and she gives it to me.
No, I'm not. See, now I'm wise to your game.
Why did I tell you that?
Well, you're not being a very good type of Christ if you're going to lie about this. How are you going to solve this problem if I'm only going to take money from people that are on her lease for her to pay that rent?
I will buy that house from her and give it to her. I'm Bill Gates.
You're Bill Gates?
It won't matter.
Okay, well, this is going a different direction than what I wanted. What I wanted you to say was, I'll go ahead and sign on her lease.
Oh, I'll sign on it.
Right, you'll co-sign for the lease.
So co-signing is never a good idea.
Well, but right now you're Bill Gates and she's got $5. Okay? So then you jump on the lease and now you're responsible for $35 and now you're like, here you go, right? Just pretend, here it is. $3,500, right? Boom, debt paid. So the landlord, God the Father, $5 owes $3,500. You. Rich guy. Plenty and plenty and plenty of resources. He's not on her lease. Jesus was not a man up in heaven. You go sit down here, and you don't have to pay that bill. Okay. Now, Jesus, as the second member of the Trinity living up in heaven, was not a man. The debt of sin was your problem, my problem, mankind's problem, people with skin-on's problem. Humans' problem. Jesus could not pay Larissa's debt unless he was on the lease. Jesus came and stepped into your situation. And he put on your nature. And then he paid your bill. That's pretty incredible. So Jesus came for at least 4 reasons. To speak to us, to serve us, to show us God, and to save us. So, there are lots of reasons, I'm sure, but there's 4 that came to my mind as to why Jesus came to the earth. Any questions? Alrighty, God bless you. Would you? Okay, go ahead, close us in prayer.
Okay, dear Jesus, I thank you for the day that you've given us, and I thank you that we're all here, and I thank you that the tradition showed us this why you came, and I pray that we all understood what it meant, and that we'll take it and apply it in our lives, and I pray that we'll all be safe down at game time, and we'll all have a lot of mercy. Amen.
Amen. God bless you. Thank you very much. Okay, so